Hello everyone, it is Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Thank you for joining me in my little corner of the internet where I'm going to talk about fountain pens, fountain pen inks, and the occasional planner. Yes, these are my currently inked pens for the month of November, and I love just the color scheme, the way that it goes into this kind of rainbow order here. Yeah, I'm fixing these so that they're all straightened even though they're not. All right, let's just go ahead and get started. I will be swatching in my Hobonichi notebook with 52 GSM Tomoe River paper, and I'll also be doing some swatching with my Browse ornament nib, and this is on my River City Pen Co. nib holder. Let's get started. The first pen and ink combination is my Zodiac Pen Co. This is this the Capricorn or Sagittarius? Oh my gosh, this is the Capricorn model in Bourbon and Smoke, and I have it inked with Diamine's Yule Log. Now I did have somebody ask me, I guess in one of my last videos, maybe the Diamine video, somebody asked me how this ink handles in pens. And I've already been using this pen for about a week now, and the shimmer is just fantastic in it. I've had no issues. So I'm going to do my swatch, but really it's just my swirl with the pen and making sure that, oh, normally it doesn't run out that quickly. But maybe I just didn't dip it far enough. A little dot here. I'm going to clean my nib. I love being able to play with my pens and inks. So the pen here is my Zodiac Pen Co. And this is the Capricorn model. And this is in Bourbon and Smoke. I bought this at the Chicago Pen Show. And this has an extra fine nib. Of course it does. And the ink is Diamine. What do we call it? Yule Log. My brain today. Lovely combination. And I'm excited to get that working this month. The next pen and ink combination is my Waterman Karen in Amber. And I'm doing another shimmer ink. This is Diamine Wine Divine. And I'm just going to make sure that I agitate that so that I can get the shimmer all around here. And then actually didn't dry my Browse ornament nib properly, so making sure I do that. And doing, isn't that such a stunning ink? And I think it's a perfect match for the Waterman Karen. Like, look at that. And my Waterman Karen currently has an extra fine, well, I purchased it with a fine nib, and then I had it ground down to an extra fine, and it still works absolutely beautifully. So this is my Waterman Karen in Amber, and I would classify this as an extra fine nib, so ground down by Kirkspear. And this is Diamine Wine Divine. I had a brain fart there. I completely forgot the name. That's beautiful. So my Waterman Karen with Diamine Wine Divine. The next pen and ink combination is my Just Turnings in the Swirly Joyful Kismet. I thought this was such a perfect pen for fall, and I'm inking it with Teranishi Opera Rose. Now, I haven't actually used this ink in quite a while, so I thought I really should start using some of my bottled inks since I've had so many samples come in recently, and whenever something new like that comes in, I just want to use it right away. And I really need to be better about using the bottled inks that I have. And I remember when I first purchased this, it was Leanne of Leanne Likes who completely enabled me with this ink. It's so stunning. And it led me down the road of all of those beautiful dusty pinks that I love so much. So this is my Just Turnings, and this is the deluxe model, I believe it is, because it does have the clip as well as the cap. Now these finials were actually interchangeable, but I decided to basically all have it as the one because I just love the way that it looks. And this is in the swirly Joyful Kismet. It was my first custom resin. And is this a fine? This is a fine architect. First custom resin with Tim of Turn Penco. So it's Teranishi, Opera Rose. And I just love that. Like, I love the colors of it. You got the dusty pink and you got the gold and the green and a little bit of white in there. Really, really great fall pen. So that is my Just Turnings with Teranishi Opera Rose. The next pen and ink combination is one of my newest pens. It is Benu's Oat in Luster. I have been corrected that the H is silent, so it's Oat Luster. It sounds like you're saying the word oat, like oatmeal, but Oat Luster. And I have it inked with Tono and Lim's Burma Tourmaline. I've already been using this combination for a little over a week, and I am loving it. I think that it's such a great combination. I think it's a really, really great match. And I thought it would be difficult to match this pen with an ink, but this one is literally the perfect match for it. This one was sent to me by a pen friend who doesn't live too far from me. And I got a lot of beautiful inks from them. Now I was a bit unsure at first whether this would be too light to be legible, but it's actually really lovely. So this is my Benu Oat Luster, and this has a fine nib. So this is Tono and Lim's Burma Tourmaline. Did I not spell that right? Oh well. Well, tourmaline. Whatever. I really love these two together so far. Like, look at that. That is a perfect match. So that is my Benu Oat Luster with Tono and Lim's Burma Tourmaline. The next pen and ink combination is another new acquisition. This is my Platinum Hachimonjia Hatsuyomi. Hatsuyomi. I need to look that up because I'm forgetful. My mistake. Hatsuyuki. Hatsuyuki, and it is inked up with Kitty Inkpot Elegy of the Fallen, another one that was sent to me by my local pen friend, and I thought this was a great match. But I'm also using this one for my Hobonichi A6 5-year journal for the month of November. I really like to try and get to know a new pen by using it in my A6 5-year journal, because that means I'm using it every day and really getting to know it, especially in that smaller format with the smaller grids as well. It's the same size grid as here, but so this is Platinum. Oh, love this fine nib. Platinum Hachimonjia, and it's Hatsuyuki. I just want to make sure that I get that correct. Hatsuyuki. And this has a fine nib. Look at the chromo shading that's happening in here. It's lovely. It starts off like the pink, but then it dries to a really, really interesting color. So again, that is Kitty Inkpot Elegy of the Fallen. I actually just placed a little while, maybe last week, an order with a company in Australia called So and So for a whole bunch of Kitty Inkpot samples. So I am excited to try those. So that is my Platinum Hachimonjia Hatsuyuki with Kitty Inkpot Elegy of the Fallen. The next pen and ink combination is my Twsbi Eco in Cream Rose Gold, and I have it inked with Wearingeul Path. Now, these aren't really an exact match, and I'm not normally the type of person to, well, I didn't used to be anyway. I didn't used to be the type of person that had to have their pen match with their ink, but now I feel like I'm at that place in my collection where I've grown it now to the point where the inks that I like match the pens that I own. But in this case, I don't really have a pen that matches this ink because look at that. It's got this beautiful shimmer with this kind of olivey base color. There's quite a few shimmers actually in this currently inked lineup. So we've got my Twsbi Eco, oh my gosh, in Cream Rose Gold. Now I can't remember which nib is in this one. I think it's a fine. And again, this is Wearingeul Path. And this is already handling the shimmer beautifully. Gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. So that is my Twsbi Eco. Gosh, can't even get that in the screen. Twsbi Eco with Wearingeul Path. The next pen and ink combination is my Pelikan or Pelikan M800, and I have it inked with Ostrich ink Sycamore Tree. Now, I knew that when I was going to ink this up, I was going to have to choose a pen that would put down a lot of ink because this one is quite light, and I wasn't sure whether it would handle a finer nib. But even like when I'm swatching with it, it does look really light. So yeah, I had to be really careful about which pen I put this in. And so far, I've written a couple of, I've done a couple of journal entries with this pen, with this ink. And so far, I am actually enjoying it. So we've got my Pelikan M800 in green, black, and this has an extra fine nib. And this is Ostrich ink, Sycamore Tree. It does go down quite light, but then it dries to something that's actually quite legible. So I don't know, I'm going to keep giving that a try. It's probably one that I won't keep in my collection after this currently inked, but I love being able to give inks like this a try. So that is Pelikan, my Pelikan M800 with Ostrich ink, Sycamore Tree. Next, we have my Franklin-Christoph. This is the Model 2, I believe. Hold on. I have the stats for everything, and I'm glad that I do because I easily forget. So yes, this is the Model 2 in the Van Ness exclusive, and I have it inked with Sailor Manyo Nagi. So let's move that out of the way here. And these were part of the Sailor Manyo inks that I purchased from PenChalet just a little while ago. And I really like them so far. I feel like this is just stunning. It's a good match for this pen, but also I feel like it actually looks quite similar to some of the blue-gray inks that I really like. Maybe similar to that Amarillo Stationery. So then make sure I close that up because the last thing I want is an accident. So we've got my Franklin-Christoph, and this is the Model 2 in the Van Ness exclusive. And this actually has a medium Kadachi grind. So medium, like the Kadachi grind normally is with a broad or a larger nib. So you won't get as much variation as you normally would, especially because this was ground from a medium nib. But I'm actually really enjoying being able to have kind of like an architect-y feel to it, but also like the higher angles that you go. Yeah, I've got the ends here. It's actually just a really, really fun nib to use. So that is my Franklin-Christoph in the Van Ness exclusive with my, oh, you know what? I didn't even write the name. I'm getting ahead of myself here. So this is Sailor Manyo Nagi. It's like I haven't done this before. There we go. The next pen and ink combination, I have my Esterbrook SD in Blue Moon, and I have it inked with Tono and Lim's Labradorite. So this one has a bit of gold shimmer, if you can see that there. So I'm just agitating that a little bit here. And then I'm going to take my Browse ornament nib, make sure that the reservoirs there are filled, and do my swatch. Look at that. Gorgeous. And look at that shimmer that's in there. It's like kind of a green gold. Beautiful. There's a lot of shimmer. Well, I say a lot, but maybe half of the inks I have in here are shimmer. Is it half? I'll have to count by the end. Now this one is not an exact match for this pen, but I wanted to use it because the nib on this is actually really lovely. So this is my Esterbrook SD Blue Moon, and this has a, basically it's got like an extra fine, and then it has the reverse architect. So fun. And again, the ink is Tono and Lim's Labradorite. Such a fun pen. I love being able to use this for work because I've got headers, and even for journaling, the different words that I want to highlight, I can just reverse the nib and you've got that architect. Really fun. So that's my Esterbrook SD Blue Moon with Tono and Lim's Labradorite. The next combination is my Pilot Kakuno in the Madarome Blue, and I have this inked with Ink Institute Shuyang Forest. And I thought once I saw these two together, yes, perfect match. Beautiful match, these two. And taking some on my nib here. I have really enjoyed writing with the Pilot Kakuno again. And, oh, that's too much. Oh, way too much. Hold on. There we go. But I really enjoyed writing with the Kakuno again. And I'm so glad now that I have enough really that I could, every month, will have a Pilot Kakuno inked. And I am not mad about that at all. But also now that I've been able to, oh, where's Lucy going? Now that I've been able to switch the nib to an extra fine nib on a different Pilot Kakuno, then I've got some line variation that I can, or at least nib size variation that I could have. So this is my Pilot Kakuno in the Madarome Blue, and this has a fine nib. And it is inked with Ink Institute Shuyang Forest. This is probably my favorite steel nib. Now I know a lot of my pens have Yovo steel nibs and I love those, but nothing beats a Pilot steel nib. So lovely. And I just think like those two are such a perfect match. That color with that ink, gorgeous. So that is my Pilot Kakuno Madarome Blue with Ink Institute Shuyang Forest. The next pen and ink combination is my Esterbrook SD in Lilac. So yes, there's two SDs this month, and I have it inked with Diamine Harmony. So this is from the red Inkvent, and I don't remember what year that is because I did not purchase the red Inkvent count. I actually haven't purchased any of the Inkvent calendars. I always purchase samples once December is done and shops are selling them as samples, because I'm not really the type of person who likes to be surprised by my purchase. I like to know what I am spending my money on. So surprise boxes or mystery boxes aren't really for me. But once the, I guess, holiday season is over and shops are selling their inks, then I can buy the ones that I want with as samples. So this is Esterbrook Esty in a lilac, and this has, what do we expect, an extra fine nib. And this is Diamine Harmony. Beautiful. I have sold a few of my Esties actually this year, but this one, I love this one so much. I love this purple, and who knew I would love purple as much as I do? Yeah, so this is my Esterbrook Esty Lilac with Diamine Harmony. The last pen and ink combination is my Franklin-Christoph. This is the Model 31 in Ascension Wing. I purchased this when I got offered a new job a little under a year and a half ago, and I love it because it was, for me, the start of a new era, but also this was something that I wouldn't have purchased before. This was my first Franklin-Christoph, and I am in love with it. I feel like it's such a great way to commemorate a new point in my life with my new job, which I have now been at for just a little over a year and 4 months. So this is inked with Diamine and Ink Dependence Trust, a bivalve. And wow, I love the brown base with the blue shimmers in here. And probably maybe not an exact match for this pen, but I thought it was just a great way to represent something that, like, the base color is quite neutral, but then you get to the shimmers and it just makes the pen. So we have my Franklin-Christoph Model 31 in Ascension Wing. And this has a fine nib. I wanted to purchase a fine nib because I wasn't sure how I would feel about that. And I was also at the stage where I'm like, oh, I'll keep a fine for everything. And so this is Diamine Ink Dependence Trust. Oh my gosh. A bivalve. Lovely. I love Diamine shimmer inks because for me, they generally work really well. So again, my Franklin-Christoph Ascension Wing with the Diamine Trust, a bivalve. So there are all of my pens for the month of November. I really just wanted to take a break from the 15 inks 30 days. I've, on a personal note, been struggling a little recently. I feel like I'm overwhelmed and a little burnt out, not just with the hobby, but just with things in general in my life here. I'm okay. I just wanted to take a step back from doing 15 inks 30 days just so that I could give myself a little bit more room to breathe. But I am loving the way that this looks. I love the rainbow progression in here. It's beautiful. And so far, in the first week that I've been using these pen and ink combinations, I've really enjoyed all of them so far. So I'm looking forward to doing my progress update at the end of November and really seeing how I feel about all of these combinations. Which one do you think is going to be my favorite? Let me know down in the comments below. All right, thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and to subscribe. Thanks again, and have yourselves a great day.